These games don't care if you cry into your keyboard. These games force you to study enemies like a final exam. One wrong move and it's over. In this list, there are 7 games that are hard because of their combat or survival mechanics. 2 games hard for their puzzles and 1 game hard for its brutal world and enemy unpredictability. These games only get harder as we climb the list. If number 10 makes you break a sweat, number 1 might just break your spirit. Let's get started. Number 10, Another Crab's Treasure. This game hits that sweet spot of challenge. It's tough but fair, and that's exactly what made me fall in love with it. Sure, the early runs will absolutely humble you, and the learning curve can feel brutal at first. But as you unlock upgrades and start mastering the flow, things do get easier. Now, I get it. The title says, they'll leave you in tears. And this one might feel like it's letting up. But hey, this is only number 10. The real pain is still coming. The game brilliantly mimics the cadence of Dark Souls, but adds unique mechanics like scavenging everyday junk for shells that give you powers. Combat is tight and parry-heavy, requiring timing, reflexes, and constant adaptation. The humor and charm only make the contrast sharper when the game absolutely punishes you for underestimating it. And the bosses are ruthless, often unpredictable, and surprisingly varied in strategy.
Hades is your only family. Death and I.
On the surface, Hades feels sleek and slick. Fast-paced combat, god-tier voice acting, and art so beautiful it hurts. But make no mistake, behind its flashy, addictive gameplay is a roguelike that demands absolute mastery. The early runs lure you in, sure, but as you push deeper into the underworld, you realize this game doesn't just want to beat you, it wants to break you, rebuild you, and then crush you all over again. The enemies grow more ruthless. The boons you once relied on become harder to synergize. What's worse, or better, depending on your masochism level, is that failure is baked into the experience. You're meant to die over and over until you internalize every pattern, every combo, every pixel-perfect dodge. It's that cycle of defeat and growth that makes Hades sting so good. Tunic. Don't let the cute fox fool you. Tunic is a love letter to classic Zelda games, but it's also secretly one of the most mind-bending and brutal games you'll ever play. The combat alone demands patience, tight dodging, stamina management, and aggressive enemies that hit way harder than they should. What really shatters your brain is the game's cryptic design. The game literally gives you a manual and a made-up language and expects you to piece it all together. You'll spend hours wandering, experimenting, dying, and trying to decode secrets that feel like they're taunting you. The worst part? Even when you think you've finished the game, you haven't. There's an entire layer of secret content hidden beneath the surface that's so obscure, most players will never see it. Tunic doesn't just test your reflexes, it tests your obsession. AI limit. The game is fast, heavy, and punishes every mistake like it's personal. It's the classic dance of death that Soulsborne fans love, but with its own identity. Fluid movement, tech-heavy gear, and enemies that feel like they were ripped straight from a nightmare. Boss fights are the real highlight here. Brutal, relentless, and often completely overwhelming. There's minimal guidance, and if you're not paying attention, even basic mobs will wreck you. Dead Cells. You're zipping through dungeons, slicing enemies to ribbons, picking up gear, and feeling unstoppable. But then you die. And die, and die again. Dead Cells is a brutal roguelite that doesn't just test your reaction time, it tests your consistency. One wrong move, one bad roll on gear, or one greedy push forward, and it's back to square one. The game gives you hundreds of tools and build paths, but mastering them takes serious trial and error. Okay, now let's get to the extremely difficult games. The Witness. You ever stare at a puzzle so long it starts staring back? This game doesn't just challenge your brain, it breaks it. Set on a beautiful, mysterious island where every single line you draw matters. At first it feels peaceful, trees, sunlight, the sound of the wind. But soon you're knee-deep in a web of logic that evolves in ways you'd never expect. Each area teaches you a language of symbols, then flips the rules when you think you've got it. No hand-holding, no hints, just you and your ability to actually pay attention. And when you finally figure something out, that high is better than any boss fight. But don't get too cocky. One section will make you feel like a genius, and the next will humble you completely. Don't Starve. Don't Starve is psychological warfare, disguised as a charming survival game. The art style is whimsical, the music is playful. But make no mistake, this game hates you. You're dropped into a harsh, uncaring wilderness with zero instructions. Your goal, don't die, that's it. But everything, from the weather to the wildlife to your own sanity, is trying to kill you. One minute you're foraging berries, the next a pack of hounds is tearing you apart while you hallucinate shadow monsters. And the seasons? Winter hits like a sledgehammer. Without preparation, it's an instant death sentence. The brilliance of Don't Starve is how it slowly breaks you down. Each run teaches painful lessons, and most players won't survive long enough to learn them. Build a fire too late? Dead. Forget a meat effigy? Dead. Stay out too long in the dark? Dead and terrified. Don't Starve doesn't give you a fair fight. It gives you a slow descent into madness. Project Zomboid, let me tell you something. I have never seen a game as detailed as Project Zomboid. This is a game where you wonder to yourself, hey, can I do this? Yes, you can, because the developers already thought of it. Every decision matters. Forget to close a window? Zombies swarm your base. Eat spoiled food? Say hello to food poisoning and vomiting mid-fight. Get bitten once? That's it. Game over eventually. But it's not just the undead. It's the systems. Managing hunger, thirst, exhaustion, depression, injuries, infection, and even boredom, all while scavenging and dodging death, is overwhelming. And it's persistent. There are no quick saves or redo buttons. You build a character, build a base, start to feel safe. And then a single mistake undoes hours of progress. Project Zomboid is survival horror without the jump scares. It's a masterclass in tension and despair. You never win, you only delay the inevitable. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. If you know, you know. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is legendary for one reason. It is ruthlessly hard. This isn't the kind of game you just pick up and casually play. This is a full-throttle, controller-snapping trial that separates casuals from maniacs. Enemies are fast, aggressive, and relentless. The camera fights you as much as the enemies do. In the combat, it's beautiful when you can pull it off. But mastering Ryu's movement, combos, and parries takes real dedication. Bosses are unforgiving. Healing is scarce. And the game pulls no punches. It expects you to bring your A-game every second or die trying. There are no cheap wins here. If you beat Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, it's not because the game let you, it's because you earned every damn frame. Rain World. Rain World is soul-crushing. This game doesn't care if you're frustrated or if you're crying into your keyboard. You're a fragile little slug cat in a world that is violently, incomprehensibly hostile. Everything is out to kill you, and nothing is explained. No tutorials, no hand-holding, just brutal emergent survival in a living ecosystem that keeps moving whether you're ready or not. The predators in Rain World don't follow simple patterns. They hunt dynamically, adapt to your behavior, and stalk you like actual beasts. Even saving your progress is a challenge. You need food to hibernate, and finding it without dying is a constant, exhausting gamble. The game forces you to learn through repeated failure. You won't just lose. You'll get lost, stuck, hunted, starved, and thrown back again with almost no explanation. And yet, beneath all that brutality is something beautiful. Because when you do survive, when you do outsmart a lizard, or finally reach a new region, it feels like magic. But don't get it twisted. Rain World is less about winning and more about enduring.